right, we have a good one. How many of you have brains? Great. Everyone raised their hand. Your reason I ask that, because if you drive the roads in Naples, you know not everyone has a brain. It's true, all right? And it's probably not restricted to just Naples, right? So a lot of the research on Balance University that went into Balance University has to do with the brain. It has to do with raising your heart rate and the impact that it has on the brain. It has to do with standing and doing balance-specific movements and the impact on the brain. Balance is like learning a foreign language, right? You've heard me say that, maybe not often in this series, but often enough that you guys can recall that balance is like a foreign language, right? You have to do it every day if you want to be fluent. I was having a conversation with someone here in class this morning, Nancy, and she was telling me about the packet we had last week, and one thing I left off was being a conscious walker, and that is true. As we age, we realize walking, we can't take it for granted like we used to, and we have to pay attention at the surface that we're walking on, right? Is there a surface change going from grass to concrete? Is there an elevation change? Is there a crack in the sidewalk? What about pavers, right? So you have to be a conscious walker. I wanted to dive into a little bit the relationship between cognitive training, the brain, right, and our balance and our longevity and our quality of life, right? You hear me talk about protect your leg strength. What I came across was really interesting, and I'm going to unpack all this, all right? Science does this to us, and if you're not privy to the topic, you can miss a lot, all right? So let me read what I have, and then I'm going to unpack this, okay? Repeat falls are 31% less likely over a 10-year period when older adults receive speed of process training, a new study has found. Okay, so what's speed of process training? They define it here as it involves correctly identifying increasingly complex visual information, such as walking. Is it a surface change? There's a red sign. Here's a car coming. I better stop. I don't think they're stopping, right? In that training, what you're doing is you're looking at different things and recognizing. Some of you know friends, or you may even realize it yourself, that sometimes thinking is a little slower. Your reaction is a little slower. And as we age, the synapses in our brains get further apart. So that is a natural process. All right? But here's the good news. Balance University exercise helps mold and move the brain and grow the brain. The brain is pliable. All right? Research shows that. That research you can find on My Balance University. Go to the reference and sources. All this is posted there, guys. But exercise has a huge cognitive impact on the brain. All right? It goes on to say, now this is where we get interesting. Mixed findings, okay? A total of 35% of participants overall reported falls after the baseline, so over a third. The training appeared to have no significant effects on repeat falls among the fall study sample or among the group of participants deemed to be at low risk of falling. But participants at a relatively greater risk for future falls who received speed of process training were much less likely to fall when compared to the control group. Okay, let's unpack that. So they're saying that low risk people did not benefit as much as high risk people when it comes to speed of process training. Why? Why would that be? If you're a low risk, what do you think about when you think about someone at a low risk of falls? They're active. They're good. They're young. So what happens is their falls are unintentional, but that may occur when they're playing tennis and they trip and fall, right? Their falls aren't occurring when they're trying to put their pants on or when they're trying to get to the restroom, right? When you think of people at a high risk of falling, standing is a challenge. Does that make sense? So your lower risk of people are already doing speed of process training because they're typically the ones that are playing tennis, playing pickleball, playing golf. They're the ones that are really active. So their falls, when it happens, is something that I would experience, right? Maybe I'm running in a race and someone runs out in front of me and then I fall, right? It's something that would occur to all of us. It's one of those unintentional mishaps. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? Whereas someone at a higher risk, standing, they would fall. All right? So that speed of process training impacts those that have a high risk of falls. All right? So you have to be acutely aware of what's going on there in this science and this research, okay? So I just wanted to try to unpack that. Go check that out, guys. One of the things they used in that study also was the Tenetti test. All right, and we'll do a little bit of that today too. So I like to bring things in. Steve did a great job, gave me a little idea there on how to break class up and bring some new flavor in. So, all right, you guys ready? Let's rock and roll. Let's have you stand.